Well, good afternoon and welcome to Prepping for Prosperity. I'm Steve Smith, and how are you all today? The borrower is slave to the lender, isn't he? We've all heard that. It comes from the Bible. No better place to come from, right? It's true. If you've been in debt, you know the feeling of being in debt. And it's hard to find somebody anymore who's not in debt or hasn't been. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how to get out of it. First, I want to say, by the way, I want to welcome to everybody, everyone who has joined recently. Make sure that you subscribe, you hit the bell, you make sure that you're subscribed so that you get notifications whenever we put up something new here. And a special welcome to everyone who is over on Patreon, who has come over there. That's where I put extra stuff, and I really get down into the nitty-gritty over there. Things that I think, and I cover things here on YouTube. This also goes on Patreon, but I cover things here that are designed to help. But I put up a lot of extra stuff on Patreon. I just got done shooting one and put one up on Patreon about why I disagree with Dave Ramsey and the Ramsey system. The reason that I'm not putting it on YouTube and keeping it on Patreon, because it's not my intent to slam Dave Ramsey. I disagree with him on a number of things, but I'm not here to slam him. And I don't want to use that as, just clickbait to try to get people to this channel. That's certainly not my intent either. However, I think that his system, his plan it is a plan, it is a system, it can help some people, but it's certainly not the best way to go about things. And I explain that in detail, and I have some real problems, to be honest with you, and that's why I've put it over there on Patreon. If you're not with us on Patreon, I wish you would come over there. It'll be the best. It's $5 a month, and it'll be the best $5 a month you have invested in yourself, and that's really what it is. We talk about, or if I talk about the difference between expenses and investments. An expense is something that you have money go out, you spend it on something, and then it's gone. You no longer have the use or the value of what you have paid for, or the value of it decreases. An investment is something that you pay money for, you spend money on, and the value increases. It brings you back more than the money itself was worth. And that's really what that is. You have to invest in yourself, and that means educating yourself, increasing your financial knowledge, understanding how you want to go at it, and that's what I make the Patreon channel an investment in you. So if you're not with us, like I say, it's only $5 a month. You're going to get a lot of extra stuff that you won't see on YouTube from me, from other people, and the link is right down below. Just click it, come on over and join us. Now, today, speaking of Dave Ramsey, I want to talk about paying down debt. It's important. A debt is something that hangs around your neck, keeping you from getting ahead. It's like trying to swim with a weighted vest on, right? You know how it feels. And there's a lot of people out there who have gotten in trouble with that, and there are a lot of people out there who may not be in trouble with that. They're able to service their debt, meaning make the payments, but it's still a burden that holds them back from being able to get ahead for whatever reason, and usually it's spending on things that you don't need. Okay, I'll be doing another one on that here pretty soon about the difference between needs and wants, and that is important. But most people get into trouble with debt, misusing credit, and I talk about that again over there. Misusing credit and getting into debt because of buying the things that they want. Well, let's talk, and not about that right now, but let's talk about just getting out of debt. Okay, and it is very simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. Okay, here's the thing. I'm not a baby steps person. I'm a giant leaps person. So let's take a giant step. Did you ever play Mother May I? I wonder, I just realized, I wonder if that's where Mr. Ramsey got his baby step idea. But anyway, I remember playing it as a kid, and my brother and sister and I would get at the end of the living room, and my mother would say, "Okay, take 2 baby steps," and you would, and it's didn't say "Mother, may I?" Kids love that. I don't think I ever played it with my kids. I think they're too old now. I can imagine what they would think if I said, "Come on down and let's play Mother Man." I'm a giant leap guy. I'm a big leap guy. You want to attack your debt. You want to get rid of the debt, because the debt is absorbing so much of your income. Okay? Every month you have money coming in, and then you've got to pay a bunch out of it, right, to the debt, to cover the debt. How does that feel? It doesn't feel good, does it? Okay. Now, it has been said, and I don't mean to keep cracking on Mr. Ramsey, but he's well known. I'm just going to show how I disagree here. He says to pay off the smallest one first, and throw everything you've got at it. Get rid of that, make the minimum payments on all the rest. And then, and does he call it the snowball? I read a book that I'm going to talk about. It's called Snowball, and it's Warren Buffett's book. I read it years and years and years ago. And it's an interesting book. I won't call it a good book. I got off topic there just a little bit. So whereas Mr. Ramsey will say, pay off the smallest one first, and then throw all that money into the next one while you keep paying minimum. Okay, the reason, I even heard him say this one time, because that may not be the best way. He admitted it wasn't the best way. But he said emotionally it's going to make you feel better to get rid of one of those debts. I'm not into emotions when it comes to finances. Emotions are what got most people into financial difficulties to begin with, because they spent too much money. They spent more money than they had because of emotional needs. So the very first thing that I would say before even the first giant leap, or maybe it is the first step, is get rid of the emotions. Start dealing with finances intellectually. Start thinking about your finances, not feeling about your finances, okay? Get a grip on it. Start dealing with money like an adult, not like a kid that says, "I want this, I want that." Debt, if you look at everything that you owe, everything in there, you can see, I want, right? The I needs are going to be very few in comparison, aren't they? So let me give you my plan here. And at one time, I tell you, I told you, I think I mentioned to you that after the 2008 collapse, Kelly and I, our business went down in the tank, and we lost contracts on some other things. We lost just about everything. But we didn't take bankruptcy. We worked our way out of it. Unlike Mr. Ramsey, who did take bankruptcy. We worked our way out of it, and it was tough. So I know how tough it is, okay? But you want to be aggressive with it, and you want to think about it. You want to control what you do, okay? So here's what I suggest. Not the attacking the little one. Attack the biggest one first. Now, it isn't going to give you the immediate satisfaction of paying off the smallest one as quickly. But you see, it was easy and quick and immediate gratification that gets people in trouble to begin with. And to attack it with that same need for immediate gratification or quick gratification, I think is wrong. This is one of the best ways to get your handle on it and start getting your emotions out of it and getting your mind into it, your brain power into it, okay? So what I suggest, You pay the minimums on all, well, actually don't pay the minimums. And I'm going to give you something else here. Later on in another one, I'll start talking about stealth saving. It also has served me well. But if you have a payment due on a little one and it's, I don't know, you know how they always give you the minimum payments, right? $56 is your minimum payment. Most people will do that. $56. It'll take you till you're $300 to get out of debt if you're paying minimum payments. Don't pay $56. Pay at least $60. First off, it's going to give you a psychological feeling of doing more than the minimum. Okay, that's important. It's going to give you a psychological feeling of attacking it, not just trying to keep up. Okay. Now, when you've made, and do that with each one, you owe $87 on another one, pay $100. Okay, it's going to make you feel right. It's going to give you a positive psychological feeling, and then also, it's going to pay that principal down faster. Right? Now, pay everything you can on the largest one, because you know why? Because that largest one is the scariest one, isn't it? That is. It's the scariest one. Pay everything you can on it every month while you're keeping up with all the others. Don't let any of them go. Because unlike what Mr. Ramsey will tell you, your FICO score, your credit score is extremely important. Extremely important. Okay. So you pay off that big one. And I'll tell you what, every time the monthly statements come out, you're going to look at that and you're going to be surprised. Whoa, that came down a lot. That's going to satisfy your psychological need, and it's going to make you feel, hey, it's going to make you feel like a grown-up. I actually am taking care of it. I'm attacking that. I'm no longer afraid of that. Now, here's what I suggest. When you go over and you watch the one that I put up on Patreon, one of the things that I will, well, I won't even get to it. It's about how Ramsey communicates. I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's not my business to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you what works best, and you decide, because you're in charge. Okay, you're in charge. I'm not here to tell you what to do. It's not my business. Not my. Okay, I'm not. Who am I to tell you what to do? You're your own person. You make up your mind. Here's what will work, though. Here's what I suggest. Right before, we're at the first of every month, go through, you can do it online, go through all the bills that you owe and put them down by date. Write it down. Okay. Maybe you've got a Chase Visa card. Write it down. It's due on the 3rd. And then you've got a Citibank card, and it's due on the 8th. And then you've got, well, first you got your mortgage. It's due on the 1st, right? And then you've got, well, just list all of them. And then include also your utilities, your gas, your lights, your water bill, if you have one. Write all those down and put a list so that you're looking at them. You're looking at them. Write the name of it. I should do it the other way. Write the name, the date it's due, and the amount. And then start paying. Look at the biggest one. And look at all the others that are coming up there. Pay a little bit more than the minimum on every one of them. And then that biggest one, throw everything you've got at it. Okay? Here's the thing. Start paying immediately. Whatever extra money you have, you start paying them. Don't wait until the 3rd to pay that one that's due on the 3rd. Okay? Don't wait until the 8th. Don't pay, okay, it's the 3rd, I better pay that one on the 3rd. And I've got another one coming up on the 8th and another one on the 11th. I don't know how many you might have. Doesn't matter. Pay that one that's due on the 3rd, pay it on the 1st or the 2nd. And take a look. Okay, I've got more money in my account. I'm getting paid in a week, but I've got enough in this account, not running short. Pay that one that's due on the 8th. Do you still have some you can pay on the 11th? Pay that one on the 11th. Unless it's you know, if it's the big one, you got to pay it. Okay. And then keep going down through that whole month. And then at the end, depending on where that big one comes, if that big one comes at the end of the month, you're good. Now you see how much money you've got left over for the month, throw everything you can. If that biggest one was early in the month, like on the 3rd or the 8th or something like that, well, you know, you might not want to, you don't know how much you've got to throw at it quite yet, because you need to pay everything else. So if you pay more than the minimum, but then at the end of the month, see what else you've got, now make an additional payment on that biggest one. Right? Okay. That is going to knock your credit card bill, which is the first one to attack. We'll talk about car loans and things like that another time. But this is your first thing to get rid of, and that is your credit card debt, because the interest rates are astronomical. What do you want to get rid of first? 23% credit card debt or a 5% auto loan? Okay? Doesn't make any sense to go with the auto loan. And I'll be talking about why I don't suggest you pay off mortgages early and everything like that. So think about that. And that's also why you want to pay off the biggest one first. That's the one that's killing you with their interest, right? If you're paying 23% on a $1,000 balance and 23% on a $10,000 balance, which is costing you more? Let's get rid of that one, okay? All right. That'll be my advice for today. Sit down, make yourself a schedule, kind of take a look at it, see how it applies to you. It will work. It's the best way to do it, because it not only puts you it puts you in mental charge of attacking this problem, this situation that's causing you a problem. Let's get rid of the problems so that your day can be worry-free, and you can use your income finally. After you get rid of these debts, you can use that income to start really throwing it at things that are going to increase your prosperity. So you all have a great day. Remember, responsibility, right? It's your responsibility, but you can do it. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.